Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 637. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Selner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. This week, it's part 4 of Animal Crossing. For the GameCube, it's time to talk about autumn. But before that, let's talk about autumn. Matt, what does fall mean to you?
Uh, Summer has come to an end, and I start to slither into my depression that is going to get too cold and I'm going to hate my life.
You got to like hockey season coming back in, though.
I mean, yeah. But that's any. Really, winter is the only time where nothing's really starting up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
we'll
no.
be in the January is like the pinnacle of play, NFL playoffs. But other than that, February is like a lull year, and then or a lull month, and then March starts stuff. Actually, February kind of starts stuff for me now that I watch F1, but it's not. It's their preseason. It's not.
Well, and that's now the new November for video game releases. So there's always something to look forward to in February because
It's the end of
everybody
February. There. It's not even.
jams.
It's not even that good of a February. Yeah, let's just all pile it on the 27th or 24
Yeah.
hours before or after that day.
Yes. Yeah, I forget where Tokyo Extreme Racer ended up on PS5 release, but it's somewhere in there. It's in that fun sweet spot. Do you have any trends? Do you have any like when you know fall's coming, are you lining up for fall flavored coffee?
I do. I'm not the biggest pumpkin person. I do like the. I do like. I usually the Starbucks. I forget what the Starbucks alternative is. The pumpkin spice, but I do like that. Fall beer is the best beer though, bar none. Like
More than
Oktoberfest.
winter.
Yes, I think
Dang.
winter is a good second,
Yeah.
and then we fall off a cliff for spring, and we start to regain momentum in the summer back towards fall.
Sure.
No, I love like a good Oktoberfest. Call me simple. I love the Sam Adams one, but am willing to try whoever's if I see something weird on the shelf. Those Marzen type beers are delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm happy you didn't mention soup at all.
That's
That's a
winter.
positive. Oh, got it. I didn't know if fall starts to usher in.
Well, it kind of does because I do soup Sundays on NFL game days. So I've had quite a few soups already.
Sure. Uh, I'm upset hearing soup Sunday, but what can I do? Um, yeah, usually like I'm just happy that I can finally wear clothing that I'm happy to wear again. I feel like summer I just like never have anything I want to wear. I'm much more comfortable in hoodies with like a nice jacket over or something, but you can't get away with it. I try to get away with it in the summer, but you just sweat to death. No more sweating. That's what I say.
Sure.
Uh, we'll talk a bit today about how the transition from summer into autumn relates to Animal Crossing. We'll talk about autumn in Animal Crossing. And then it's finally time that we give our overall impressions, thoughts around Animal Crossing, and rank it on the list. If you're just joining us, welcome. The list is a list of video games we've been maintaining for 3 years now, which you can view at thefreecheese.com/the list. And it has all 163 games. This is 4 years?
Season 10, right? 11, 12.
Oh, yeah, 10, 11, 12,
And we're
13. Yeah,
on.
you're right.
This is the end of 13 right here, pretty much.
Dang. Yeah. So 4 full seasons worth of video games. 163. Animal Crossing will be the 164th. So stay tuned till the end of the episode to see where we end up ranking it. Not even we know at this point. What we do know is that Animal Crossing was developed by Nintendo EAD. It was published by Nintendo, released on the Nintendo GameCube in North America on September 16th, 2002. The back of the box, we get a big old Splash text, welcome to town. It's time to move to Animal Crossing, the real life game that's happening every second of every day, whether you're there or not. Let me get some call outs. KK Slider says life ticks by in real time. Different things happen at different times of day, and seasons change just like they do in the real world. Who's Rover is the cat on the train at the beginning, I believe. Rover says, get 3 friends to move to your town or travel to a friend's town to see what's up. Blathers says, so much to do. Plant trees, pull weeds, go shopping, run errands, or just go fishing. And finally, our friend Tom Nook says, get to know your town, meet your neighbors, buy a house, and furnish it however you like. Of course, he wants you to buy a house. Also got a call out here. Get connected. Connect to Game Boy Advance using a Nintendo GameCube Game Boy Advance cable sold separately to travel to a new island and design new clothes. When you're ready for even more, you can connect an e-reader and scan Animal Crossing e-cards to get special presents, maybe even classic NES games. Bold statements on the back of the box. We'll wrap up our thoughts on Animal Crossing a little bit later on, but let's talk autumn because we've talked, if you missed parts 1, 2, and 3 of this, episodes 598, 611, and 624, we've covered winter, spring, and summer. Now we'll talk autumn, some of the activities of autumn, and then we'll rank this thing. So, what does fall bring for Animal Crossing? We leave summer behind. What happens here?
Leaves fall. Joe, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't tell you much.
You and I are in a very similar boat, my friend, and I'm going to talk about that too. Yeah, I mean, I got to play a good bit of autumn because I jumped the gun on Animal Crossing
Right.
at the end of last
I
year. So I
forgot we've come
played,
full circle with
yeah,
this now. Yeah.
I played a good bit of autumn last year. So like I started in November. Um, I mean, it was autumn. There's leaves on the ground. All the trees looked right, like they should, like trees are supposed to look. Um, I did hang out on Thanksgiving. I participated in that, so that's one of the seasonal activities you can do. Kind of. I didn't get to do everything because I actually had to like leave on Thanksgiving to go do Thanksgiving things in real life. But it was cool. Like there's a turkey that was hiding in town, and you had to help find it so that the rest of the villagers could eat it. Um, I don't know if they eat it. I think they just have a party for it. I hope. Would have been gruesome if
Does
not. But yeah,
does
I
Mayor
remember
Nook
getting
pardon it like there's a presidential pardon every year?
exactly, yes, might have been that. I remember getting the knife and the fork. Uh, doing that. Yeah. That's what it was. You get the knife and the fork. Franklin the turkey tasks you with finding that, and if you do that and bring it to him, he gives you an item from the Harvest series, so you can trade those for something. I don't know. I'd call it autumnal, but it's not really because it's kind of purpley. Doesn't really look like autumn to me. It looks more like a psychedelic dream, if you will. Um, Backing up a bit, there are some other holidays that hits. I'll kind of call out what they are, what you get on them, or by participating in them. Uh, this should be a loose timeline of kind of how they rolled out. I might be a little out of order here. You get Labor Day. Go figure. Um, and yeah, it's the first Monday in September. Uh, this is another one of those where like Tortimer shows up near the wishing well to give you something. In this case, you get a model of the shop, the Tom Nook's little shop, which is kind of cool. I like the models in the game. I like those as a collectible item. They don't do much more than that. They're just a thing to have. But in terms of like getting something that's not furniture, I thought they're kind of cool. Um, Next up is Mayor's Day, which I believe was September 15th. Um, yeah, in this case, I don't know that you actually get anything. No, I'm sorry, you get a well model of a well, the one where you meet Tortimer. But you go and you talk to him during election day, and he'll hit you up with that. Then you get Explorers Day, which is the second Monday in October. Um, and in this one, you get a bottled ship, which is kind of cute, you know, discovery and whatnot. Then you have the Autumn Moon, which is probably my favorite. Um, I believe this one rotates. I can't tell, but you get a moon. Like Tortimer just gives
Okay.
you a moon. It's big, like a huge thing that you just set down in your house. Um, Halloween is actually a really neat one. This one does take place on Halloween, and within it, like you can, it's not really trick or treating. You're just sort of more throughout the whole month or the back half of the month of October. You can buy candy at Tom Nook's, and then on Halloween, villagers will like kind of come up to you and ask you for candy. If you have it, you give it to them. Um, and if not, then they will change what something they're wearing looks like, and they'll swap out an item. Um, Jack appears. Did you get the pleasure of meeting Jack?
It did not.
He's a cool guy. He's got a little purple costume on with a big pumpkin head. Um, but he will, if you give him candy, he'll he'll give you an item from the spooky series. And the spooky series is all like uh pumpkin themed. It's like straight up like armoires that just look like big jack-o'-lanterns, that kind of thing. In November, you get Officer's Day, everybody's favorite holiday. Um, it's another model day. This is where you get a model of the police station in the town. And then Turkey Day is the last one. Whoops. And I kind of talked about that one at the beginning. But yeah, you kind of help Franklin not get eaten. Um, so looking back at the quarter, what was your level of engagement with Animal Crossing?
Very close to zero.
Yeah, I'm with you. And why do you think that is this time?
I don't remember what I've said in the past. The loop of playing this game, just the seasonal changes don't really bring me inspiration to go get that mentally through my head. Um, yeah, for as much as I kind of talked, well, actually, I didn't talk about much last week, but last week I mentioned with Suikoden about like, I didn't play this on the right platform. It was tough for me to turn on my PSP
Oh,
at
yeah, yeah.
times. This was like the exact it was like the opposite thing where it's like, no, this one was just a game.
Yeah, yeah.
um because it's the same loop, or like you kind of
It
get
is.
yourself into the same loop to a degree. I mean, I guess you can challenge yourself to do other things, but once you kind of start challenging yourself to do things, you kind of end up falling into that loop just because of the way the game's natural progression is.
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's just kind of like that. And like the mood to play this never really struck again like it did when we were first going into this, and I was going in daily for a few weeks and whatever. Yeah, just it never came back.
Yeah, just diminishing returns. I agree. Like I had a real tough time in the back half of the year getting engaged with this one. And I chalked it up to a couple of things. I do think platform was partially it because I was playing. I don't have a GameCube hooked up, but I have a Wii hooked up. So I'm going to Wii. But in order to play a GameCube game on Wii, you still need a Wii remote. You have to plug in the GameCube controller. It's like a couple of extra steps where like if I'm gonna sit down and finally play something, like doing that, and I have all my controllers and stuff in bins in the back room, so it's just like a commitment. Like, let me go get let me get the bin out. Okay, let me
Yeah,
turn
especially
on
if
the
if
Wii.
you have the snap wrist strap too, because you need to use the wrist strap to go through the main menu for safety.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to harm yourself or others. So getting that thing affixed is key. But yeah, so I think that always kind of slowed me down from. Also, I mean, this is all like totally not, but I also have it like hooked up through an upscaler. So then I got to get the remote for the upscaler to make sure I switch the input to make sure that it's looking at the Wii stuff. And it's just all of these things that just like prevented me from jumping into this. Where something like Animal Crossing New Leaf or New Horizons on 3DS and Switch, respectively, those were easy because I could just grab the device, jump in, and play. Yeah, I don't know. And then I think also because of both of those games, there's a lot of quality of life stuff that happens that made it difficult to go back to this original Animal Crossing experience. But it's less than that as much as it is like once you've been through a year's cycle in an Animal Crossing, you kind of get it, you know? Like you know what's coming, you know what's going to happen. So part of me like really looking back at this game, I really tried to look at and appreciate how well they did that formula from the start. Like, sure, since then they've added some things that, like, hey, you can stack items in your pockets now. That you know what I mean? Like, they've done things like that. They've given you, I don't know, I don't even know like a lot of the other
Well, like New Horizons added the thing where you have like the little mini objectives in that like book.
yeah, a little like task list that gives you like a little bit more of something than just like the loop of talk to this person,
Mm-hmm.
talk to that person, see if they have a Game Boy for you to take back to somebody, move on. Um, yeah, and like you do kind of get upgrades to your town as you start to play through this, but not as much as some of the later games would do. And like, point is, like, I think they've done a good job at modernizing it, but it's also very impressive with how much was there from the start. Like this game's still the core of what it has been. And remember, this came out on the 64, not even GameCube. This was a 64 DD game. So yeah, man, to have all that stuff as early as they did was super impressive. And I did have a good time like checking in with it in the beginning of the year and getting to know some of the villagers, engaging with some of the activities. It was just, I think, a lot of hoops to jump through by the back half of the year that made it difficult to really engage with a lot of the content. Um, yeah. Is there like any of those holidays I kind of called out? Is there one you wish you would have seen or checked in with?
I think the Halloween one would have been cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that one's pretty neat. I
Especially
think,
because I mean, and you know, like that gives you like there's an end goal with you saying about buying the candy and whatnot. There's a little bit of effort you go into that event.
it gives you that thing to do each day. Like go in each day because I think you're limited to how much candy you can buy each day.
Sure, yeah.
So, you know, you want to make sure you're getting it exact, you're optimizing your time.
But yeah, that
Uh,
would probably be like the only one. I don't need to celebrate Mayor's Day. What a
no,
what a egotistical son of a bitch. Well, I
I
guess he's
think,
not. Is he? Never mind. Sorry, he's not mayor in this one. Who?
oh, no, yeah, this is Tortimer's the mayor.
Right. Sorry. I'm thinking
Yeah.
of him owning your private island in New Horizons.
Right. Yeah, no. No, it's Tortimer this time around. The Autumn Moon's cool too. Simply
Hmm.
just for the model, just because it's stupid. I like what you get. But other than that, um, yeah, Turkey Day was neat. But again, like you it's a little bit of a hide and seek thing, which can be, you know, fun or not, depending on what you're in the mood for or what you have time for on the actual Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Um, Again, though, I like that there's a lot that you can do throughout. the year, throughout autumn. There were things like specific to the season, and they did it. I think they did it really really well right on GameCube. Um, Looking back at the year with Animal Crossing, what when was the game at its best for you?
Probably just the initial start up, get the character going, start to learn the thing, see who your first like neighbors are that move in, because that's when the game's at its freshest. And then it just kind of, quickly, I would say, you kind of start to see what this game wants you to do. Um, and yeah, that once you kind of get there, like there's like, again, there's like mini objectives and stuff. But it becomes the same.
Yeah. Um, for I guess like broadly speaking, this could be no. Let's keep it to GameCube. We'll keep it to this one. What do you like about this game in particular?
Um, nah, I it's tough because I've been spoiled by stuff later down the road.
I know.
Um, I like it did break ground, right? Which it's not a good answer to your question because, but I feel like each game has, from what I know and what I've seen in New Horizons, like has like built off of this foundation, and this was the one to do it. I like the idea of you sharing this GameCube as in your household and making it the center of your community in Animal Crossing. I like the idea of the seasons. It kind of gives, dare I say it, that battle pass fear of FOMO if you don't catch the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
fish in the season. Um, there's a lot of stuff for whether you like it or not that you could start to see from this game, and in a very, I guess, probably zoomed out, abstract way, but um, no, this game was impressive in kind of breaking that ground here when it did.
Do you think this would have been better suited for living with three other people?
Probably.
Being able to kind of check in and see, like, oh, what's that person doing?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
I would think so.
I'm gonna put a bunch of trash outside of their house just to mess with them.
Yeah, you know, I I think each household will be a little bit different depending on who's playing at what time and whatever. But like, I think this is almost like one of those your nuclear family in a Nintendo commercial all playing a game. Like it's perfect for mom or
Yeah,
dad or both when before work, and then when kid gets home from school, they can hop on and see what mom and dad did. Like it's a good family game in that regard when people are playing at different times. Now if brother and sister, or in your case brother and brother, are fighting over the same controller at the same time, that can get a little messy. But
yeah.
the asymmetrical multiplayer aspect of this, I think, plays well in a household.
Can you play like on the same screen at the same time? I feel like you can. No, it says 1 to 4 player alternating on the back of the box. So I guess not. Um,
I never really would have seen the UI for split screen because we launched the game and asked, like, who is this?
right. It does right up front. Yeah, I think like it's another thing that's tough about playing this game as an adult and in, a world where we have so many other games to play and things to do. I think if I were a kid coming home from school and jumping into my Animal Crossing thing for a little bit, like that would have been cool just to get lost in. I feel like if you have like a global pandemic or something where you've got nothing else to do but leave the house, this is probably a really good experience. Um, but thinking back to that, like I was gonna play New Horizons anyway, but having that happen, like it got not only gave just time because it was like, well, what are you gonna do? Like you've already watched all of Tiger King, so
Yeah, you beat Doom Eternal at this point. 3 days in.
yeah, why don't you design Coca-Cola machines? That sounds like a good idea. Uh, so yeah, I think time played into it, but I don't want to diminish what Animal Crossing is and was and still is. I really like that this one has the NES games in it, like getting those as you complete certain objectives and doing things. I know that it's like, hey, you can play those games anywhere now, but you couldn't at the time unless you still had your NES hooked up. And I think like hacking in an emulator that played those games was really, really uh, neat, novel idea. Um, and I like the way that it kind of paid homage to Nintendo's past, which some of the later games would do too in different ways. But this one was just a neat touch. Um, I'm scraping the barrel, dude. I don't know what
Yeah,
else I
I
have on
mean,
Animal Crossing.
anything from your end about like fall, autumn that you wanted to bring up besides like the holidays? Any? I don't even know the any of like the rare fish or bugs or whatever, but
No, and like for that, like in this one, I hit a point where I kind of knew I wasn't gonna get it, so I stopped. Like I'd do it. I'd
mm,
fish. I'd look for bugs, things like that, if they were there. But I just kind of I don't know. Like I completed the museum in New Leaf, and that was like cool, you know. But like this one, I knew I kind of never would. Across the especially the art. The art was so elusive in this game. It's elusive in all the games, to be fair, but this one especially felt like I'd never get all the art, not unless I played for years, checking in every day, doing all that. So it just felt like, I'll fish a little bit. Is that one new? I don't know. Let me go talk to Blathers. But I do think like a lot of that stuff, and it's never gotten that much better with like speeding up the talking to Blathers and doing those things. It is faster to get your fossils assessed because he can do them on
yeah,
site in newer games. But like, having to mail them off and stuff like that and wait a day for them to come back. Again, neat ideas. I love the solutions they put in place. I love like thinking about how this game was programmed because I think that was neat. And I do really love the real-time clock. I think that's such a neat feature that's underutilized in games generally speaking. Like the fact that it's daytime, it's nighttime, it's nighttime, seasons change, all that stuff is really cool. But yeah, I think just, you see it, you see it. Um,
yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
well, shall we get ready and rank this thing?
Yeah, I'm also going to take credit. We don't talk. We've been talking about more and more when with our friends about like us conjuring up the spirits that will and getting stuff re-released that just
Yeah.
seemed so obscure, like going into the season. I'm gonna give you credit for getting the New Horizons expansion to bring back the Nintendo stuff, because I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
you
I
said on the
mean,
first episode like they haven't brought this back since this game, and I don't understand why.
yeah. I'm doing you and I together are doing what we can to preserve and revive video games. Don't forget, coming into the year, knowing that we had Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 on the list, we did not know that there was a new Tokyo Extreme Racer coming out, and yet here we are, fully released and coming to console. So, um, I guess we should, before we rank this, talk about just overall gameplay, visual, sound, just our sort of review category breakdown, because I don't know that we've really like done that as a whole throughout this. So, um, yeah, gameplay. I mean, we've talked about the mechanics throughout the year, but is there anything, any wrap up that you want to throw out there for gameplay? And
It's just the inventory system is like crippling,
yes,
and it kind of ruins, like, if you go in your lap, your tight inventory space can ruin the lap and throw you off your flow. Like, that is like the
yeah, that's
one
fair.
thing in this game that I feel disrupted me the most. Not even like
Mhm.
me checking the fossil like me getting a fish and have a check with Blathers to see if I had it in their museum or not, because that was like a trip I could do at one time. Yeah, it was like a lot of A mashing or whatever, but like I would eventually get through it. This, like, it felt like tedious to go up and back down the, my hill, or to the north side of the map and then back to the south side of the map or whatever. Um, that's like the biggest like gripe I have with the gameplay itself, is how tight the inventory can get, especially when you're carrying all the tools.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like that you can just throw stuff on the ground and it's there indefinitely. I don't know when it disappears, but or if it disappears, but there's those things. But I never felt like I could trust that, so I never did it. Um,
Skyrim on PS3 has burned us all these years later.
yeah, dude, never. Mm-mm. Visuals. I love the like style of the characters. I love the art direction, design. I love how like round everything is. Not just the characters, but like the menus around, the accents around things around. I like it. Just feels like a nice homey kind of um, art design. Colors pop. I think things look good. I like how many items are in the game, how many different styles they account for, and I think all that stuff's really impressive. From sound perspective, I think the music's fun. I like that you create your own town tune. Did you ever go and do that?
No, I always forget to. I've done it
Did you do
in
it?
I
Yeah,
think I did it in New Horizons.
yeah, that's a fun one. Um, but yeah, that I, I think the way the music changes with the hour is fun. Still like along similar themes, but it flows throughout the day. I like they've got their own like Animal Crossing Simlish kind of thing going on,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not quite legible. Um, yeah. All right. I think we hit the things. I think we
Yeah.
can rank it. Unless you have final thoughts
No, not
ahead of
really.
ranking.
Nothing that I didn't say earlier in the year.
All right. Thefreecheese.com/the list is where you can go if you're not watching the video version of this. If you are, congratulations. You're seeing it now. I've I've got a ranking election, as we do. You mean to go first?
Uh, yeah, sure. I forgot who went first last week at this point.
I don't know. I don't remember. All right. I called this the new. Funnily enough, that this game's come up a couple times. The new 62, below Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 and above Resident Evil 5.
All right. All right. We're not close. Um,
Hit me.
I have it as the new 122 between Peggle and ESPN football.
Wow, you did not like it.
It goes back to the, like, it's not for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's easy to drop. I get that.
And like I just kind of kept just falling and falling, because I want to say no, I didn't start that high. I never even looked at the area you're at seriously, because I like too much of the other stuff better. But where did I finally like start kind of realistically thinking about this game? It was probably around like the Little Big Planet, like 103 area,
Yeah.
and then kind of
I see.
going down from
The,
there. There were just some titles between that and where I landed that is kind of like better, but I think 103 is where I started to like realistically like think like for myself, oh, is this where
yeah,
it can go?
I get that. And honestly, I mean, we're closer to 200 than not, so it's not like we're putting this too low even at that point. But yeah, it's weird. Like I like this better than Little Big Planet, but I might like Ib better than Little Big Planet. Or you know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
like
that's why I started fighting at 103.
yeah.
Honestly, probably around like 100. I like this better than Cleopatra Fortune, but like the next game down, I liked a lot better than this. I have no mouth
Yeah.
on my scream, so it's We get in that territory. And then I kind of just landed next to Peggle because Peggle, another one of those like casual experiences, and I would play Animal Crossing probably before Peggle again. So there's that.
Would you play Little Big Planet before Animal Crossing?
Probably, probably.
All right, I see.
I mean, I'll come up though. I'm like, I don't come.
No, no, no.
Don't necessarily come
I'm
down to me because I'm like, this isn't my kind of game. You
no,
said,
I like this game, but it did not hold my attention for the entire year,
yeah, but
which
also that was for the
is tough to ask of anything.
the other thing though is we asked to play this all year. One, I think we kind of went into this year just. I even think that we've talked about it when in like 2020 when New Horizons came out. Like this is not my kind of game. It never really has been or whatever. And then you double that with like I'm not the kind of person that sticks with the game for an entire year as it is already, and I come in and
Yeah,
out of stuff. So
yeah.
that was also another thing going against this for me. So I will be the first to admit I think I'm super low in this game. So what were your feelings putting it towards like Resident Evil 5 and Tokyo Extreme? Because I know you very much like Tokyo Extreme Racer, and I was the one
Yeah.
who brought that down. I think.
I think it's more just like I think playing this game for a podcast split into four quarters where we're not forced to, but like, we need to check in with this game and it's whatever. I think that's what soured the experience. Where I feel like if I just kind of felt like playing Animal Crossing and I jumped into this to just hang out in it and see what was going on or check in with stuff, I think I might have had I don't want to say a better time because I didn't have a bad time, but I think I would have had more longevity, or the game would have had more longevity. But again, like I think for me, like my praise and my adoration from it is like it is charming on its own. I think it's impressive what Nintendo was able to put together for the GameCube. The systems in place, the real time calendar and clock, and all of that stuff, I think is super cool. Uh, You know, it doesn't need to be anything more than what you want it to be also. So I like the fact that like I'm sure people have played this as a fisherman, period. Like they don't talk to anybody, they just load this game up and they go fishing. They don't do anything with the fish, they just catch and release, but like you could do that legitimately and just see what you get. Um or you could take them all back to your house and just build like an entire room out of fish. I think that's really cool that you can do that. I like that there's even if you kind of like hit a point where you feel like, oh, I've collected everything, like, well, do you still have you can't have everything at one time, like physically, there's just not enough room or space. So, you know, do you have the room that you want? Or do you want to change your room? Do you need to go get bells to do that? Like, have you fully upgraded? Did you pay off all of your loans? Like, there's always something to do. And I like the versatility in it. So yeah, it's a weird one because overall, like I like Animal Crossing. I think it's a cool experience. I think just like Animal Crossing as a brand, I think is cool. This one I think is impressive for what it did on GameCube, and the core concept is really neat. Some of that day to day, some of the like moment to moment stuff too. To your point of like inventory stuff gets really tacky. Not in like a not tacky as in like you know. I mean like sticky. Like it gets
Mm-hmm.
like it's difficult to deal with. Um, there's some things like that that make it cumbersome to play. But that aside, I think that's kind of where I lean on it, where I just think it's cool, it's neat. Um, and that's what kind of landed me. Like I'm looking around and like I think for me it was more I see Luigi's Mansion and I see Beautiful Joe as two GameCube anchors on this list. Not on the list, but like I'm looking in this section and I see those two and I'm like, well, it's definitely not Luigi's Mansion, but it is. I like it more than Beautiful Joe, and I think that's where I ended up looking in that section and kind of landing where I did. But I think if you keep looking, like Double Dash is better than this. I like SS Tricky over this too. So like I can come down for sure.
Um, we drop. I'm looking. I've kind of like resituated myself. What about? I'm looking specifically in the 81 to 85 range. That would be in order from 81 going down: Blood, Quake 4, Bully, Demi Kids, and X-Men 2 Clone Wars. I think I personally I would put it at like 84.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I think Bully's above this on the list.
It's going down. I know
I
Mass Effect 2 is getting into outlier territory where I don't even look at that anymore, like Metal
I
Gear
know,
Solid.
yeah. It's one of those, yeah.
Um, but even past that, I like the games around Mass Effect 2. I like better than this game, Musha and Power Slave. See, I think that's my spot. Like, I'm like in the low 80s.
Let's do it there. The new 84, is that right? Demi Kid between Demi Kids and Bully?
Yeah, I don't hate that. Actually, quite
Boom.
like it.
Getting it locked in. Animal Crossing for the Nintendo GameCube. There you have it. All right. For Animal Crossing, that's the ranking. That's the year. If you missed our other episodes and you want to hear us maybe be a little bit more on the positive side, check out the winter episode or maybe even the spring episode where we had a little bit more enthusiasm around the game. Um, yeah, just I think like once you kind of get out of the gate, you know what it is. You don't need to see much more of it. Um, I think that's what kind of ended up being the lasting effect of Animal Crossing. But I like that we got to, do a 4-part series. I think it was cool to see something change over time, literally, kind of. And next week, we'll do another follow up episode of sorts as we kick off Winter Part 2, the final 5 weeks. Um, and we revisit a game we played in March by seeing what Capcom did with its sequel. Resident Evil 6 joins the list next year. Is this? It's only 2 Resident Evil games this year, right? We did do a Dino Crisis this year, but that's it.
Yeah,
So
Code Veronica was last year.
yeah,
The only reason I put 5 on was for co-op. I didn't really necessarily do it because of Resident Evil. Yeah.
no, but we keep rolling, man. One day we'll have them all. So come back for that. Of course, we've got Fighting Force coming up soon, and then a bunch of year-end content to enjoy. I'm looking forward to our final string of episodes here. So come back and hang out with us then. Until then, thank you all for hanging out, listening, watching. Go tell a friend about the podcast. Email us at podcast@thefreecheese.com. Thank you, Matt. See you next time.